Welcome everyone to another episode of The First Watch. I'm Dan LaMarca. As always, I'm joined by Tom Osborne, aka Ozzy. How are you, Tom?
Good. How's it going, guys?
Happy to have you here today, as always. I am also joined by Dave Eggers. Dave, you got a quote for us?
I'm just an old man who likes dirty stories.
If only that's really who he was, then we'd have a very different movie on our hands. This
That's how I
episode,
felt watching this movie.
well, that sounds like a you problem.
That's how you felt watching this movie? You agreed? You're like, yes.
That's who you sided with. This movie, of course, that we were talking about is The
Is he not the hero?
Handmaiden. This is Park Chan Wook's 2016. I would guess we would call it an erotic thriller. I think that's what I would call it.
Or smut. But yeah. Not in a negative way. by any
Jeez, we
means.
got a bunch of prudes on the call.
No. I didn't say it's an affectionate term.
Is it?
I don't think
that's how I
smut
use
is
it.
definitely not. There's no
That's how I
positive
use it.
spin on smut.
The First Watch, of course, is the show where we each make a list of movies that are on our backlog that we have never seen, but at least one of the other members of the show has seen, and we take turns picking them off each other's list and watching them. So this one comes off Ozzy's list. The Handmaiden is, I mentioned it when we picked it, this is one of, in my opinion, one of my 25 favorite movies of all time.
Really?
Yes, I think this is a masterpiece and really, really excellent film. So I am excited to hear what you guys have to say about it because you've never seen it before. But we do have some table setting to do, a lot to discuss around this movie. So we'll jump into that. Handmaiden is, I mentioned 2016. Park Chan Wook had been around for a long time at this point. If you're looking at his filmography, he has a couple of movies that he disowns, and they're small indie movies that he thinks are very bad, and I have not seen, but they sound like they were bad based on reviews. So his first quote unquote real movie is Joint Security Area, JSA. I have seen all of Park Chan Wook's films, except for those first two, and he is like banger after banger. Like every movie he makes is a great movie. So JSA is a really cool. It was a huge hit in Korea. I think it was the highest grossing film of all time in Korea at the time, in 2000. And it is basically a interesting tale at the border of North and South Korea, kind of like a cool, twisty bromance movie. It's really good.
Okay.
Really good movie.
I haven't seen that, but I did see Old Boy.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say next. It goes JSA, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance in 2002, and then Old Boy 2003. Old Boy is a big breakthrough into the West. It was not a massive success at the time when it launched and, was initially released in the West, but it was a massive like DVD hit. Like a cult hit.
Classic.
People love it. You hear people talking about it. Quentin Tarantino is like a huge champion of it. Always has been like, you got to watch this movie. This guy's doing really cool stuff. So Old Boy puts him on the map. He continues to make cool and interesting movies. One that I'll just shout out quick, leading up to The Handmaiden, which I think is really interesting, is he makes his first English language film right before The Handmaiden with like Hollywood people, called Stoker. It is a very interesting movie, and it is a similarly like a twisty, strangely erotic movie, starring Nicole Kidman, Matthew Good, and I always forget her name. I'm gonna find her name. I'm sorry, Mia Wasikowska. She was like huge in this like short period around 2013. So that comes out, completely bombs. And then Handmaiden is a really interesting one where it got, basically there was a time for Amazon where they were hunting and from the ground up producing small, like, they're obviously not independent because they're being
Yeah.
But they're indie style, smaller movies. They were seeking out like auteurs that they liked to make movies. This is where you get like Manchester by the Sea,
The Big Sick.
Yeah, that was a little bit. I think it was a little bit after, but
I thought that was before Manchester.
maybe you might be right. Maybe I'm wrong. But there's a handful of movies, and The Handmaiden is one of them. So this was an Amazon production. It was released with Amazon, which is very interesting for what this movie is, obviously.
For sure. I didn't know that part.
So that's like a little bit. The only other thing I'll mention before we talk about like what The Handmaiden is and what it's about is it also it has an interesting legacy of it premiered at Cannes, and it was kind of like talked about like, oh, this could be really, really good. You know, people really like this movie. This could be a sleeper for Oscar stuff. And South Korea didn't submit it for its like foreign language nominee, like candidate to be potentially nominated. They submitted a different movie that, and now of course I'm gonna forget the name of it, but the movie it was up against, I think, was also a pretty good film, but it certainly wasn't doing as much.
2016.
It's interesting.
Too.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was playing at Cannes when I was there.
In 2016, you were there?
Yeah.
I think it was.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I didn't see this, obviously, but I did see The Salesman, which won an Oscar that year, for
The Salesman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why do I not know what The Salesman is?
It's about it's very quickly, complete tangent here. It's about a guy who was doing a production of.
This was the Oscar winner.
Yeah.
I thought you meant it won an award at Cannes.
Oh no. Well, I don't think so, but
yes, there were a bunch that Cannes had a lot of movies that were.
It was a good time.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but you missed this one.
I did. I don't know. They don't give you tickets for everything. Like you got to get them, and
sure, that's fair.
It's a whole thing.
So something before we get into the I think the way to talk about this movie, we're gonna go through it and talk about a lot of different stuff. I'll talk about the actors. There's actually some interesting stuff with the actors, and then I think it has an interesting setting that's worth digging into.
Oh, for sure.
But I'll also just say off the bat, I think one thing, a very important, lasting legacy of this movie, the most sexual dental work you'll ever see in a movie.
It's probably true, yeah.
I think it has to be, right?
As far as I've seen, yeah.
hottest dentistry of all time. So,
well, was it Horrible Bosses Gets Close?
That's a good point. That's a good pull. The stars of this movie, I think it's interesting to shout out. So Kim Tae-ri is Suki.
Written down too. For once.
Oh yeah, nice. This was her very first role.
Get the fuck out
in a movie as Suki, and she's unbelievable. We'll talk about it, but she was found auditioning for this movie, and Park said that they auditioned 1,400 people for that part. And they picked her, and she'd never worked before.
That's crazy.
Which is just insane to think about.
Yeah.
And her counterpart,
Kim
Min-hee, she has some really interesting history too. So she, at the time, this was kind of like her big launch into like superstardom. She had some good roles. She was doing well for herself. The thing that's interesting is she was in I believe, I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. Yes. Hong Sang-soo, another Korean director who is kind of, I guess, thematically appropriate for this. I think Scorsese called him the Woody Allen of Korea because he puts out a movie every year, but he also makes a lot of like smaller, personal, relationship-driven movies. So she was in Right Now, Wrong Then by Hong Sang-soo. And during that filming, it was this really public thing in the Korean media that they had an affair.
Okay.
and he was married, and they broke up their marriage,
Yeah.
and it was a big deal, and she was demonized.
Ooh.
She literally has never worked after The Handmaiden, because the Handmaiden comes out during all this controversy,
Okay.
right? She has never worked with another director except Hong Sang-soo, who now she's like his muse, and she's in like
Everything.
90% of his movies, and she's very good in some of them. There's one in particular, on the Beach at Night Alone, which I've seen, which I think is excellent. She's phenomenal in. That came out the next year, 2017. But it's the only person she works with now, because she's basically blacklisted from working with anyone else.
do you
And
think
she's an
that's
incredible actor.
Do you think that's 100% a blacklisting, or like you know what, this?
No,
I like working with it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
I think she's pretty much said as much.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because obviously he isn't blacklisted.
He sure isn't.
That
He
is
was the one
crazy
in the
because
relationship.
he literally has a movie every single year
Yeah.
through last year. And
I
she's
know,
in all of them.
She's in basically all of them. Yeah.
Oh,
And again,
that does make it hard to be in other movies. as
Well, sure.
but I know what you mean.
I mean, there's plenty of actors that work more than once a year.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, look at Pedro.
He's in everything.
Look at this Dwayne Johnson fellow.
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, there's a lot less acting going on there. But
So those are our two leads, and then you have Ha Jung-woo, who is a huge Korean star. Like, he's in a ton of stuff. He's like a super famous guy. This is the guy that plays the Count in this. He's excellent in this.
he is.
He's also a very handsome, beloved guy in Korea, like
Makes sense.
a heartthrob type of guy, which is funny because he's totally playing against type in this, obviously,
Yeah.
in a way. So those are our kind of three main characters, and then Cho Jing-won is the uncle who's the, I guess, the other. It's really the three of them, and then he would be the next part.
I would say he's like a supporting lead.
Yeah. And yeah, so those are our main characters. From there, what I'll just say is Park did. So this isn't a straight adaptation of the novel, but the novel The Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. This is, I think they ended up saying inspired by.
That's what they used, yeah.
Because it's a complete swap of what the themes and what's going on in the plot is very similar, but it's in the book it's like Victorian London.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's Victorian era versus colonized basically Korea from Japan.
Like post Meiji Restoration, like it's a completely different like subtext and setting, and a lot of the themes work really well in this setting, which is interesting because that's not even how the book was, you know what I mean? He read it and was like, whoa, I have a really good idea for like
To
how I
apply
can make this work in a setting.
But it is funny because they do mention in the film that it's like, oh, he's obsessed with Japan and England. Mm-hmm. So it kind of like does help.
Well, we'll talk about that because the house is one of the most interesting things about the movie. So I think that's like the main table setting before we jump into the movie itself, unless anyone has anything else they want to mention. We said no Oscar nominations. It wasn't even submitted for foreign language film. It did win a BAFTA for best non-English language film. Okay. Which, again, for a movie that's not even in the five foreign language in the Oscars, that's pretty interesting. But it feels like, looking back, at least to me, obviously I'm biased, I love this movie, but it feels like this maybe could have gotten a little more love on a more critical level, like awards wise.
It's funny too because I do think there is a lot of room for this right now as well.
Yeah, it almost was ahead of its time a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah, I would agree. Especially in the post-Parasite world of, foreign language films, specifically Korean films. I think if this movie came out today, it would be massive.
That was something I kept feeling a lot of in this movie was the Parasite.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So Parasite is a 2019 movie, 3 years after this, and we've seen small breakthroughs, but nothing major. Parasite was way higher at the box office than any other Korean movie, and then obviously won Best Picture, which is unprecedented. So I think the interesting thing about Park is him and Bong Joon-ho, their careers, it's kind of like a volley back and forth because they're both making like critically acclaimed Korean box office successes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then Bong makes Snowpiercer, which was big here.
Yeah.
And then makes Okja, which is again an English language movie, and like continues down that path, and then makes Parasite and wins it.
You know what was weird about Snowpiercer, which I accidentally stumbled upon when I was looking up some stuff for this?
Okay.
Parker Cho's the producer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying
I just
Park Chan Wook?
Oh, Park Chan Wook. Yeah.
I know. I
thought that was funny.
Well, there is a lot of crossover there, and I think
yeah.
these guys obviously, I think they're friends and they really respect each other's work. And,
especially
and work pretty closely together.
In this industry, having each other's back like that makes sense.
Totally. And it's funny because they make very different types of movies.
For sure.
But if you think about the thing that I like when I watch all these Park movies is Kang Ho Song, who is the lead, like the dad in Parasite, is in a ton of Park Chan Wook movies.
Okay.
As the lead.
Yeah.
Like he's in JSA in 2000, like his first major movie.
Okay.
And he's in Thirst, and he's in there's a lot of overlap because Bong uses him in Memories of Murder, and then obviously, there's a lot of overlap with these guys, and I think I've just been such a big fan. I really have been like digging into Bong and Park the last like couple of years and watching all their movies, and it's just fun to see the parallels and the differences.
Yeah.
So you said you've seen all his. You just haven't seen the first couple of his
Park Chan Wook,
filmography, right?
Yeah.
So, sorry. Is his style making these twisty, turny movies? Because the Old Boy obviously has a big twist. This has multiple twists.
100%.
Is that kind of his general theme?
This is one of his favorite things to do. Is make. Not only is he making twisty movies, he loves to have like a mid to 2/3 through major twist.
Yeah.
Like he's huge on that. And the thing that's so interesting is you see a lot. This is a very, I would say compared to a lot of his movies, The Handmaiden is a lot more dialogue and on its surface, a lot more of like a more serious and respectable and less like genre-y.
Yeah.
But when you think about this movie, and we'll talk about it, the way that his filming style works with it, it is like an insane movie, like with crazy camera work and cuts and,
that's one of the big things.
And transitions, and like he does crazy stuff in this movie. Yeah. That is, it makes it so much more exciting
than something
than what a normal like
that genre.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like this type of like romantic
Period
drama.
piece.
Yeah, you would think is like very boring and
it could be very dry.
Yeah, and this is the opposite.
Yeah, especially like opposed to Old Boy, where it's like very neo, like Korea, modern and techy and all that stuff like that.
There is so much.
And sleazy.
Every one of his movies has an insane style.
Yeah.
And this is right up there with it. But yeah, I'm a huge Park fan, and this is my favorite of his. But there are probably 2 or 3 others that are like pretty close up behind. I have this weird arbitrary rule for my top 25 that I can only have one movie for each director.
Oh, really?
So I don't like fill it with like PTA movies or have 3 Park Chan Wook movies. That. I do that on purpose to give it some variety. Yeah. But I do have like Thirst and Lady Vengeance are like right behind.
Yeah, they would be if they
this
could
movie. Be. Yeah, and those are more in that genre, more violent, more gruesome, but like still super stylish, fun. Like I highly recommend, if you guys enjoyed this movie, to go watch more of his movies. Like they're so good.
And I guess apologies in advance if you watch this with a relative or something, not knowing what it was about.
Tough one for that.
Yeah, that's a tough one
for that. Especially because you may read the synopsis and look at the poster and be like, oh, okay.
It's a romance.
We could watch this with
I think that's
everyone.
what it said, romance. I was like, okay.
So let's talk about the movie.
Yeah.
High level, we're going to go through the movie, but high level thoughts. how surprised were you by the movie? Like, did you feel like this is not what you were expecting, not what you were getting into?
Yeah, I don't think I knew. Like, it's very weird because it's like, this is not what I expected it to be, but I don't think I had expectations. I was like, all right, let's turn it on. Like, maybe something a little like, okay. And then like a little bit into it, I start getting like favorite vibes. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh no, we're going all over the place.
What about you, Oz?
No, yeah, I had no expectations. Didn't really know what the plot was about at all. And as I was watching it, I think I looked at the clock. The movie was maybe an hour in, and I was like, something's gonna happen
Oh
here.
yeah. That first
Something's gotta
twist,
happen.
you're
And
like,
then when,
this is
yeah,
too
that
early.
that blew my mind, that first twist. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah,
The second twist is a real sweet spot.
it is a good one.
This movie's so good, man.
It is. It's great.
I love it so much. But all right, let's talk about it. So you're starting out in an interesting setting. It is post Meiji Restoration. Western culture coming into Japan colonizing Korea and other surrounding countries, like in the lead up to World War II. And the interesting, I think this is probably mid 1930s. I don't think they ever say it.
No, I don't think they ever put like a time.
But you see cars at a certain point near the end, and
even in
their
the beginning.
fashion.
She gets driven.
Yeah, they get driven. Yeah, but you can see kind of. I believe it's supposed to be somewhere in the 30s.
Yeah, because you start seeing that type of technology showing up, and
Yeah, and the interesting thing, we'll talk about the setup. We'll go through some plot stuff, but the thing that I really like about this movie is right off the bat, before you see anything, it says yellow subtitles will be used for Japanese. Everything else is in Korean, or vice versa, whatever it says.
I didn't even see that, but I just knew
you figured it out. Yeah. But the way that they do that and they show it, it just makes you say like, okay, they're gonna do something interesting. Yeah. You know, like that. This is a cool thing.
No, yeah. When they started talking, like I was like, okay, well that's Korean because like I've watched enough Korean things, and then I know Japanese.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well not like no Japanese,
Yeah,
but I recognize Japanese.
something I didn't know about you, dude. But yeah, so they say that off the bat, and then you see soldiers marching in the streets of like a small village.
Yeah.
And we we roll up to Suki, with a bunch of other people holding a baby, and you see her handing the baby off, and you see another woman with baby saying it should have been me, and you don't know the context at the time.
Yeah.
So the thing I think is so interesting is right off the bat, Diana was like, wow, she just has to give up her baby like that, because you think like, oh, it should have been me, is like I should be going instead of you. You know, you should be here with your family or whatever. But that's not quite the tone. Then the funny thing is they nip that in the bud right away. Because she's like folding up her hairpin, and then you see her in the car like eating something on the drive out.
She's definitely not upset.
And Diana's like, I guess she got over that quickly. And I was like, yeah, we'll watch the movie. So amazing shot right off the bat of the cliffside when the car's driving up. Like, this is the kind of stuff that like I'm in already. Like I see what they're going for.
Cinematography is great.
It's so beautiful. And we'll talk about moments, but there's some stuff in here. The way that the shots are laid out is absolutely gorgeous.
And what I love is that the movie just goes right from there. Like there's no. She gets into the car and goes to the mansion, and the movie's you're off with the plot.
And honestly, I love that so much because like I am not like a person who's like, we just need exposition dumps. Like just start it off, we'll catch up.
And the fun part is the way that they do the setup is very stylish and enjoyable. Like where our quote unquote the count comes into the group after she already goes in there and explains like what the plan is. And you get the little cast of characters and the guy that stutters, and you
get the band of misfits.
The one that actually has the kid, as opposed to all these babies that were left behind and that they're raising to sell to Japanese families. And then you have the den mother. They're basically a band of thieves. And you get some interesting backstory. Suki's mom was apparently this like master thief who like everyone loved and respected.
Eventually got caught.
Eventually got caught. Again, we won't be going A, B, C, D, but we're kind of give the background, and then we'll set up what's actually going on. So I really love how it's moving.
Yeah.
It's just moving.
The pacing's great on this.
Even right when she gets it, like they cut a couple different points in the car where like, all right, now it's dark and she's kind of like waking up and they're like, oh, we're not even close yet. We still got ways to go. This is whatever. And then her being like so rushed into the house. Into the house. The thing that I love is you see it early on that when they get to the manor that we alluded to is half like English manor and half Japanese. Like a Japanese classical, like beautiful ancestral home, right? Yeah. And when they get into the Japanese area, they take their shoes off. And then when they get into the English area, they put the shoes back on and start walking through. And that's just such a cool, like, they don't like force that in your face. It's just like
no,
a
it's
cool
if you know,
thing.
you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise you miss it.
It's awesome. Those little details are really, and the way the house looks is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Because it's so stark. Like when you look at that main like library room, right?
Yeah.
And it's got all the tatami mats and all this stuff, and then it has these big English bookshelves.
Yes.
And it's like that clash is strange, but really good.
Oh yeah. No, it looks great and very cinematographic.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So we have Suki first getting set up. She gets explained to that. The lady of the house who you're going to be taking care of is sleeping right past this door. If she needs you, sometimes she gets nightmares. She'll yell, go in and help her. And
she's basically like sleeping in a closet.
Yeah. She's like, Harry I sleep Potter here. Style. And they're like, yeah. So she basically gets woken up on night one, screaming. Hideko is the lady. What we learn soon is the whole plan of the Count is I'm going to get Suki in there, and she's going to be my ears and eyes on the inside to help convince this lady of the house to fall in love with me, the Count, right? And the whole pitch is she's the one who has the inheritance because she actually, it's a little convoluted, but let's talk through it. She actually is Japanese with a sizable wealth. Because her mother passed and she's like the last relative and she has all of it. She's living with her uncle who is Korean and is obsessed with Japanese culture for some very interesting reasons. He was he basically sold a bunch of people out in order to get a gold mine. And this beautiful manor and all the shit that he has by selling out Korean people when their colonization was going off. So he's totally created this persona of a Japanese man, like living, breathing. He only speaks Japanese in this entire movie until the final scene.
That makes sense.
Which is so interesting. So Uncle is in a bunch of debt because he is obsessed with dirty stories and woodcuts and all kinds of.
We don't know their dirty stories yet at this point in the game, but hindsight, yes.
But we know that he has a collection of books that he won't sell them because he loves having them, but he has no money. So what he wants is a guy that's going to make forgeries and sell the forgeries so that he can keep his originals.
Yes,
that's like the Count's big idea of like, this is what this guy wants. I can be that guy. Yeah. So our friend the Count, the slimy, like basically, con man. Yeah. He sets Suki up to be in there, be his eyes and ears on the inside, and
push her towards
whisper in her ear to fall in love with him. So that's kind of the setup, and the thing that this movie does, and as we continue to go on, we'll just say off the bat, there is a major twist, and then you replay a lot of what happened from a different perspective.
Yes.
And that makes for a really fun story because you recontextualize a lot of stuff that happens.
Yes. And also you pick up like the details, like there are things that I saw that like were like, what was that about the first time around? Then you're like, oh, here it comes.
The stuff with the letter early on, I think right the next day when Suki first gets there, she says like, oh, this letter came with me from the Count, and she's like, oh, I have a headache, can you read it to me? And she like starts reading like some like idiom about like handmaidens or like chopsticks.
Yeah,
that she says like a spoon.
The Count told her
yes.
what was in the letter, so she's trying
because
to go off
she can't
memory.
read.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is she's trying to read it, and then she says, oh, I'm sorry, I can't read. And then she like, oh, you can't even recognize your own name, and she writes something down and shows it to her, and she's like, no, I don't know that that's my name. When we see that event later, this is just one example. When we see that event later, you see that the letter is basically explaining who Suki is.
Yeah.
And again, we'll get to that. And then when she shows her name, it's actually Hideko's name, the lady. And I just think that kind of shit is so much fun.
Great.
It's so much fun. So continuing along,
it feels like almost every scene in the movie is, you basically almost see it twice.
Yeah, a lot of them. And the thing that's cool is when they do make that switch, you also see other scenes that you didn't see before.
Yes.
Like they show a little bit earlier, at the manor.
Yeah.
And they show a little bit later in certain areas. Like it is interesting the way that they
Well, it's like that scene where she gets there at night and she goes to bed.
The first scene.
She hears the screams from Hideko, and she runs in there, and then at the end of the movie, you see that Hideko's planning to scream, right? She's laying in bed all calm. She's like, all right.
Even the thing that scared her, like that bang that scares her, that she goes,
she
it's
does
her
the
with
bang.
the doll.
Yeah.
Watching her. She's
It's
like,
so good.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And she bangs her head,
Yeah.
that whole thing. It's just a really good setup. But now we continue through, and what we start in the beginning when we're only seeing from Suki's perspective. I want to talk. We'll kind of blaze through this beginning section and just go through some quick plot points, and then I want to talk about these characters a little bit. So, for Suki's perspective, she's helping with the con, and very early on, you see that she's sloppy. She's a mess.
She's sloppy.
Like she's doing things that would be a red flag to anybody, right?
Yeah.
And you realize it at the time, but you're also led to believe that Hideko is very naive, right?
Yeah.
And she's been in this bubble of this house. She's never left the manor, blah, blah, blah. So you're seeing, all right, as she's going along, she's very quickly becoming, like, forming some sort of relationship with Hideko.
Yeah.
And at first it's like, oh, I feel bad for her. She's really naive. And then very quickly, and that first bath scene, which we can talk about, so as she continues to help her and get to know her, Hideko is in a bath, and there's a flash from like Suki's perspective of her looking at her boobs, and she says like, "Ow!" Like I cut myself. I have a sharp tooth.
Is sharp. Yeah.
Which I mean, not a very subtle metaphor.
No.
This is sharp part of me. Can you soften down?
Yeah, exactly.
So she comes in with a thimble to sand
file down the tooth. Yeah.
It is so gross. But when she's doing it, you're getting like a first-person view from Suki's view of just her finger going in and out of her mouth.
It becomes very
while
sensual
she's
very
like
quickly.
completely naked in the tub. And you see, obviously, Suki is the way that we're describing this is, this is
Indicative of the
overtly
way her
sexual.
feeling,
Like you see that she's also feeling that and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing that we can talk about is we never get any glimpses into like who Suki is prior to this, right?
No.
So we don't know if like, is she gay normally? Is this a new thing for her? Like, what are we? You just kind of, it's irrelevant to what the story that he's telling.
Yeah, and I think very early on, she keeps talking about, oh, he didn't say she was this pretty. Oh, she's very pretty.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That does keep happening.
Well, and I do think that you're right about that.
Yeah.
But I think there is something happening where like she is supposed to be this like like
No, yeah.
like people
It's
see
like a
her and
pedestal
it's
type
like, whoa,
thing.
like
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at
yeah.
this
No, I
like
agree.
beautiful creature. Like
Yeah.
anybody, no matter what your sexual orientation
Exactly.
is, going to be like awestruck is the
And
idea.
And honestly, I think that's probably part of it, but also having such a non-traditional upbringing, I think also probably lends her to that as well, where it's like,
Totally.
what's the, we're not doing this the same way everyone else does. It's like,
Right.
whatever happens here.
The thing that's interesting, right, is as Suki has these experiences and they become more and more explicit, but you see her very quickly start to become, she's conflicted of like, do I want to continue doing this? Whether it's overt conversations with the Count, because of course the Count makes his way into the manor and is starting to encroach on her,
make his moves on him.
We'll talk about his initial experience with her shortly, but the thing that you're seeing with Suki is she's watching her every move, and she's being bothered by it, right? And she's becoming jealous, and she's becoming
jealous, yeah.
And it's not only jealousy, but it's also like, I don't like seeing her being taken advantage of like this, and being thrust upon like this, and unwanted advances, whatever it is. So the thing that is interesting is we're seeing Suki be very obvious about all this.
Yeah, that's the
and
thing.
So there's part of you that is already, and obviously I've seen the movie before, but there's part of you that's already like, either this girl is extremely naive and not catching on to this, or there is something else going on.
Yeah.
And that's why I think this first twist is so good, because people can, Diana did, see that coming.
Yeah.
And it's such a nice combination of like, if you don't see it coming, it's a great twist.
Yeah.
If you do see it coming, you're like, I'm so smart. I know exactly what's going on. And then the second twist gets you.
Again. Yeah.
And that's what's fun about this movie, So I'll mention that the Count, when chronologically he first comes in during Suki's part of the story, the Act 1, the first introduction is he arrives to the manor and sees Hideko do a reading.
Yes.
This is prior to the twist, because now what I mean by that is, again, we're seeing things from different perspectives depending on the act, and during this we also see, because we have I guess what we should mention first is we have Hideko say to Suki, come get me at 12. I have to go do my training or whatever.
Yeah.
And my reading lessons. And she goes there. And this is one of the coolest scenes in the movie. And I fucking love how absurd and disorienting it is. Where she goes in.
Doesn't knock.
She's
supposed to knock.
She comes right up.
Yeah.
And there's no really door to knock on. So she's kind of like,
she
comes up an elevator. And it's like right there. And we get this close-up of the uncle licking his pen with his black tongue, and it's like a super close-up on his face, and then you see like everybody turn to look at Suki,
like in shock,
and he goes, "Don't take one step further, like this is the snake." And then you see a quick pan down to what looks like a snake, and she screams, and then you see the servant woman run over and grab and pull this thing, and this gate closes quickly. It is such like a frenetic, like bizarre scene.
Yeah.
And the way that it's filmed, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about, where it's like the marriage of tones that I want to really dig into on this, but that is just like, what the fuck is that?
Oh,
like,
no,
that's crazy.
I was definitely like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, what am I watching here? This is so strange. It's very, like, Hitchcockian. It's very weird. And I love that shit.
My question, because I didn't go back and watch it, but later when they show the snake again and she breaks it, right? It's a little snake statue.
Yeah.
In this shot, is it an actual snake?
No.
Or can you just not tell?
Because you don't get a big glimpse of it, you think it could potentially be a real snake.
So that was the thing. I was like, they're either using that instead of a real snake.
Yeah.
Because money.
Yeah.
and like it's a fucking snake,
Yeah.
or that's a fake snake,
Right.
which is like where I was leaning anyway.
Which is kind of the purpose of it. It's like,
No,
was that a snake? Was that not a snake?
Yeah.
What are we looking at here? You know, like that's the fun part of that. So we
Well,
see,
and,
okay. Oh, go
the
ahead.
uncle has that great line of, was it the snake marks the bounds of
The
knowledge?
knowledge. Yes.
Such an
Which I thought
asshole.
was kind of cool because also it's like, you know, the Garden of Eden and the apple represent
Oh, yeah.
knowledge and all that stuff.
But the point, in my opinion, the
Yeah.
point they're trying to make by having him say that line is, look at what a stuck-up asshole this guy.
Oh,
like this guy thinks he's so smart.
He has a statue at the door and be like,
Yeah.
if you cross this,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, psh, kick the statue.
Oh, it's so good. So that's our glimpse into, okay, she's doing these reading lessons with the uncle. We don't know a lot of details. Then, okay, I know we're probably missing some things, but now go back to that count scene that I was talking about. So that initial reading that we're seeing, the thing that is interesting about this scene, and I want your guys' opinion on it, is so Hideko does this reading, right? And you see, okay, this is what she's been trained for.
Yes.
And it's a bunch of other rich guys, rich perverts
In
that
tuxedos.
are brought in, including the count, including the uncle, to listen to her reading this like pornography, basically, right?
Yeah.
And this is an actual like famous Chinese like pornographic story. Like it's a real thing. And so is obviously that hentai photo that we'll get later. That's like a very famous painting.
There's a few things that like seems culturally familiar.
But that's he is putting that stuff in there, which is interesting. But so we see her reading, and as we see her reading, first of all, it's very theatrical. She does like a self-choking thing.
Yeah, it's very much a performance.
It's a huge performance. But they also have these flashes to some like flagellation of like sometimes someone is lashing her bare ass, sometimes she's lashing them.
Oh yeah, depending on the
it's
story.
like these
Yeah.
cuts, right?
Like you see the people listening in place of the characters in the story she's telling.
That's my question. Because I don't think they make this clear.
Okay.
And I've heard people say it both ways. Some people think that is part of the deal and that actually happened. And they're remembering that prior to the story, they had this interaction.
Oh, that's what I took from it. I thought that it did happen.
Exactly. I always read it as they are inserting themselves into the story, and here's what a realistic version of that story with similar kinks looks like. So they're like imagining themselves in that position, and depending on who it is, they're doing the lashing or getting lashed.
Yeah.
And
because the story itself changes.
But the thing that's interesting, and the reason people lean towards what Ozzy is saying, is it is not a one-to-one story. Like you're not seeing, like that's like about a knight and whoever the story. You're not seeing them in like armor and like different shit. So like it is in their normal, like what you would expect them to be in that day or whatever.
Well, I thought that was part of like the recognition of it.
Me too. But that's why it's
because they're
interesting.
listening to it in there and then they're just imagining.
There is no. I don't think that you can be right or wrong, and it would change much. But
there is one.
This is what I was going to say.
Variable.
The line read. Oh, you're thinking of something else? Go ahead.
So before the bidding begins,
Yeah.
they do that thing. So there is a bid to something here, but I think it was for the material
It's
itself.
to buy the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think buying the book would be as worth it if you lived the book.
I agree. In my opinion, these are like-minded perverts that would rather experience this in this specific way.
Well, also the fact that like Hideko's a virgin.
Yeah.
And that maintains throughout. So who are they acting everything out on? Her to what extent? But also we would have seen that on her ass in certain scenes and other things like that. Well, that's why I don't.
My thought was in the sex scene that's coming up with Suki, if she had a lashed up ass,
I feel like that would have.
I think it would have been a plot point.
Yeah,
or
it would have
something.
given her away a little on that.
So that's why I've always leaned towards that direction.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think gives a little credence to Ozzy's interpretation is that we hear him say to the uncle, or the uncle says, "How much would you give to have 10 minutes with her?" And he says, "Anything."
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of doubling and mirroring in this movie. We hear lines repeat in different contexts, but that is a line that's repeated.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is like a lot of what we're asked to do as the audience is like, is a line being repeated because they overheard it? Because we have instances where Hideko is listening in and hears the count say something, and then she says it back to him to kind of make him think like, why did she know I said that? Yeah. Is this one of those instances?
Well, I thought that was a line from the story itself as well.
I don't think so.
I thought it was.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. But regardless, I think it does not change much,
because that's the first time the Count ever meets Hideko, was during that read of that story.
Yeah, or the dinner before or something. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying like before Suki.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Chronologically.
Yeah.
So the capper of this reading is a very interesting doll situation where they have this wooden doll.
Oh, yeah. The one I just said. What was that? Was it me?
Yeah, that's all right.
I didn't even know.
The wooden doll that comes down from the ceiling, and she sits on his lap, and
and then it arises.
And it rises up in the sky. There's some strings being pulled and levers.
Yeah, and
she's progressively leaning further backwards, as if she's still attached to the doll in some way that you could imagine. Interesting stuff. And then she comes down. All the men are like sweating, fanning themselves. Yeah. She takes a little napkin and like dabs her head.
She has the vapors.
It's just really fucking good.
Oh no, that's a crazy scene. Like even just on a technical standpoint to put in there, but like. Also,
and it's so beautifully shot.
Oh yeah, everything in this movie is very well shot.
It's so beautiful. So now I guess the next major one. I mean, we have a couple of instances where we have Suki like getting upset, showing emotion. Most of that is after she has that major sex scene with Hideko.
Yeah.
So what we'll have is an instance where we have Hideko kind of goading her into coming into bed, right? That's the idea. It's like she's like, oh, I'm scared. Can you come lay with me?
Yeah, because she's like talking about the Count, and then she's like, oh, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. You know?
I think the piece that we're missing is there's something in between where Hideko is seen like kissing the Count or doing something that before. I think it's before this, because we have during this instance, Suki is like upset with Hideko and like took a while to come in to bed. Remember, she's pulling the string a lot and it rips.
And breaks it.
Yeah.
I think it was the go back and get the oil painting. The oil
that
paints.
Was right before.
Yeah. And then she sees Hideko on the Count basically in the woods, and then storms off.
So this is where you have the things that start coming through. I think that we get some amazing physical comedy stuff from Kim Tae-ri's Suki, where
she hits her head.
She'll like stomp around, and her like emotions are always being shown.
Yes,
in a setting where the servants are supposed to have absolutely zero emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you see the Count in another scene, like playing with one of the other servants, where she's like, "Here, give me your cup," and he's like putting it to the side, and she's like, please sir, yeah. Like, please don't do this to me. And that's like the most you see from anybody else.
Exactly.
But I just like, there's a lot of small scenes that we're glossing over here, but the principle here is she's falling more for Hideko, and also
it seems to be returned in some capacity.
Yes, exactly. And that's why when you get this scene, it's been building to this, and you have the combination of Suki already being mad at her because she's already jealous and already, whatever. So let's talk about the scene.
Okay.
Oz, you want to lead this one?
Not really.
No, I think this is probably the most controversial at the time part of this movie is that there was this and we do not need to have an extended dialogue about this, but I will say there were some critics that felt the female sex in this movie is very male gazy. And the thing that I find interesting about that is I feel the exact opposite, because the point of the movie, and we, as we continue on, we will talk about it, is the empowerment of them to take these perversions into their own, like making it your own, right? So it's like, I have the power to then do this thing because I want to, not because you're making me or you're, dreaming about me doing this. It's like, I now own this and now it's mine. So,
yes, I agree with you. But if you watch just the first one, I could understand.
This is what I'm glad you said that.
I was gonna say that too.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That last scene is where
the second scene.
The replay of this. Well, the thing that's so interesting about it, I think.
Go ahead.
I think because I'm a little. I enjoy movies. I like reading criticism, right? Okay. So I recall specifically the act of scissoring in the second part of this, the second time we see this scene, being the main viewpoint of the ire, because I think a lot of people, lesbians, will say, hey, that's not really it's not really something that we enjoy, and that's only in a male fantasy, is the idea. Okay. But what I'm getting at is the reason I think that that's important is because Hideko spends her whole life reading about this shit, and then it's like, I get to do this.
That is her
the way
basis
that I
of
want to
knowledge,
do it. Yeah, and I think that is the whole text of the movie.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it's kind of a bad faith read to say, like, that's what this is about. Not only because, what the fuck? Like, what is the movie about? You think this movie is about, like, the men? Like,
no.
Like, every man in this movie is, like, a self-lothing, like,
I think it was very appropriate that I watched this yesterday, June 1st, in time for Pride Month.
That's what I said to Diana last night.
Kicking off Pride Month, right?
Yeah. I just think personally, we don't need to get into a much longer discussion about this, but
we can get into a little bit.
I just don't think
because so I'll tell you something that happened in my personal life related to movies.
Oh god,
here we go.
Yes, exactly. So when I shot Station to Station,
yeah,
there are sex scenes in the movie.
Yeah,
one of the things that was going to affect rating, and the movie's unrated because of this. Well, because of a few reasons, but because of this. Is going down on a woman actually changes the rating.
Really?
Because there isn't a lot of scenes of women getting oral sex.
Well, is it because of the, like, explicit nature of what you're seeing during that scene, or is it just the act?
It's how, listen, it's not very explicit. But it's how much of the act you're getting.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I do think there is something that people, like, have a reaction to with that.
Well, sure.
A little bit of a double standard. But
I mean, this is your wheelhouse.
Yeah. So
we're in your wheelhouse.
But I don't think that scene is very much male gaze, but because of the way it's set up, especially with, like, I'm gonna marry the count and I have no experience, I think that plays into it. But if you watch the whole fucking movie,
that's cherry picking.
Yeah, you're like,
what the movie's
I turned
about.
the movie off halfway.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I understand.
But that's why I personally, I think it's an interesting thing to at least discuss briefly. Yeah. I don't think we need to give it any more credence because I do think it's bad faith. But,
100%. So
moving on from there, they have a very intimate scene. It kind of cuts off at Suki about to go down on her. We get an amazing POV shot.
Yeah.
The P being
from the pussy.
That's it. That's what the P stands for.
Yeah, exactly.
And then from there, I think it just kind of continues with Suki being jealous. We kind of start running through. The Count's getting frustrated. Mm-hmm. He sees that she's kind of undermining him a little bit.
Yeah,
and she's she's like saying like, I don't care about this. We have this scene where the Count like grabs her hand and puts it on his crotch.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because you see he's like trying to assert his dominance or whatever. And say like, you gotta get me in the right position for this, or blah blah blah. And she just walks away and is like, don't you ever put my hand on your pitiful excuse for a cock.
Your small excuse for a cock.
Yeah,
ever again.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
So I think where we can go, unless you guys have anything specific, we can talk about the big twist.
I think the other the other just small little scene that I wanted to point out that ends up getting like everything else recontextualizes. I think it's got to be one of the first things when when she's rummaging through like her clothes and through her drawers, and you see she pulls out the box that has just
The rope.
the bundle of rope,
Yeah.
which is obviously weird, but you don't know what it's about.
And you
then-
do also get the story about her mother and her aunt. So I guess we should mention that. So Hideko has a history of her mother dying in childbirth.
Yes.
Right? So she's raised by her aunt. Her aunt ends up marrying this guy who is now her uncle.
Yes.
And that's why she lives at the manor from such a young age. Her aunt had dealt with mental illness, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Woman madness. And we see her
Hysteria.
in flashbacks, I believe right after the twist is where, yes, it is.
Yeah, but we know before that she hung herself
that
on
she
the
hung
cherry
herself
tree.
on the tree, and she's willing to say, her spirit got absorbed into the tree. That's why it blossoms so beautifully, and it's like they spin it, and she spins it in a nice way of like, I love my aunt
type of deal.
Yeah. So you see the rope, and you know that her aunt hung herself out there, and it's like, okay, interesting.
Well, was that before or after we see the rope? Well, I guess either way.
It was definitely after.
Oh, was it?
Because
Right.
we see the rope almost the first scene where she's in the house. Because when she goes to her reading lesson, that's when Suki looks through all the stuff.
Right. And she tells that story. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing she finds in there that you don't know at the time is she pulls out what you think are anal beads or
Those are big anal beads.
whatever. Turns out that
Well,
A,
not far off.
they may be used for that, and then B, they're also used for the torture, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Beating the shit out of the hands.
I almost like there's a message there.
Yeah. In whose hand? What can this do?
So let's get to the twist. I don't think there's a lot more to talk about. We get a. Oh, go ahead.
No.
You have something that you want to mention before we
do
get
you
to the
want to
twist?
hit the twist or like the last build up to it?
You could talk about that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
like she agrees to marry the Count.
Mm-hmm.
The uncle's going away. So the uncle doesn't. Obviously, the uncle's not in on this plan.
Yeah.
She's gonna go marry the Count. The Count and her are gonna have the fortune. Blah 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 blah. Condition comes. Suki comes with us.
Yes.
Her handmaiden comes with us. He's like, fine.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
We should talk about, because one of the major scenes before the running away scene is they've already had sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's having the scene where she's like rubbing her feet, and Hideko is like, do you think if I love somebody else that I should still marry the Count?
Yeah.
It is basically what she got at. It was a couple other lines
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
but she gets to that, right? And Suki like looks at her and is like, I think you'll learn to love the Count.
Yeah.
And she slaps her.
Slaps her and then pushes her out of the room.
Well, she slaps her
Yeah.
again, and then pushes her out of the room and kind of
shuts her
like
out.
shuts her out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, all right, we're ready to go. Time to
run away.
enact the plan and run away.
Yeah.
The running away scene is so fucking beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and the music builds, and all of a sudden it's like this swelling music, and you get these awesome landscape shots that are insane.
So as they're running away,
Yeah.
they run past the tree.
Yep.
You see the rope.
Yep.
So I was like, my first reaction to that rope was like, they left it, and then I was like, it's way too clean.
Yeah.
And then
Isn't that so good?
Yeah.
Because part of you thinks like, oh, is that like symbolic? Is it like, are they
Yeah.
imagining it being there because of the ant or whatever?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, you don't even think about what it actually is
Wow.
there for, which we'll get to is my favorite scene.
your favorite scene?
Number one scene. So we have them run off. We have some cool shots of landscapes. We have the Count coming up in a rowboat. Again, beautiful looking shot.
Mm-hmm.
They hop in and they go to have the wedding and go in this kind of place in the woods, right, for the honeymoon. Interesting thing here, during the wedding, you see a lot of strife, obviously, as they're like saying their vows and stuff. And
you're not really buying a lot of their romance.
She's not saying some of the things that they're both supposed to say and whatever. And then you see afterwards she goes like this, and he hands her something, and you find out that that's the mercury bottle. Yeah, and that was the wedding gift. Yeah.
So cyanide capsule, if you will.
Yeah. The interesting thing here is now you have the three of them staying there. Suki is like kissing her whenever she can. The Count's like, it's this horrible situation.
Yeah, it's literally like a head popping in type of deal and out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then he goes to convert the inheritance, correct? And then they're alone for a bit.
Yes. And then the night he gets back is when they have their consummation, right? And you see it from Suki's perspective. She's like singing this song, and then she hears moaning, and she thinks they're having sex. She's all upset. And then it's next morning, you see Hideko kind of being upset and like looking kind of distraught. Yeah. And you see them like dressing Suki up. And you don't really know what's going on with that. Yeah. And it's strange. And then they cut to a couple of doctors like coming to visit, right? Yeah. So they're asking Suki questions about like, oh, do you... what's your relation here? Yeah. What's her deal? Blah, blah, blah. They're going back and forth.
Oh, yeah. We didn't mention that part of the plan.
That they're going to
put her in a nut house. Okay. So, part of the inheritance plan was to, like, get the inheritance and then put the lady in the nut house.
Yep. To get her out of the way.
Yeah. And then everyone gets their cut.
Exactly. So then that's the part of the plan. So they do the, discussion with the docs, and then they show up at the asylum.
And Suki says, yes, I think she is a harm to herself or others type of deal.
Yes, exactly. She said, just be careful.
Yeah.
So they arrive, and what happens, the way that they set it up, it looks like Suki got bamboozled. And they're saying that she's, Hideko, and... we knew she was crazy because she was saying she was a lowly handmaiden and the whole thing, right? And it's this big, I love the way that this is filmed because it's in slow motion, and she's saying like in voiceover, like, one thing I'll say about Hideko, like she was always a rotten bitch or something like that. And then it cuts to like a flashback. You actually see Hideko's face, and she smiles. Yeah. Like she gives like almost like a laugh.
Like a snicker.
And obviously, if you didn't see it coming, it's like so shocking because it's like, holy shit, was she conniving the whole time? This is brutal. And like seeing her laugh at this, it's like crazy. And then obviously the context. Yeah. So flashback. Now we have young Hideko, probably 7 or 8 years old,
something like that.
Getting tortured for failing at her reading lesson. She's getting...
I thought it was talking back.
Knuckles on... You're right, it was. She said... Because she says, I'm not a rotten bitch. Yeah, I'm not a rotten bitch. And she's getting her knuckles hit with those big brass balls.
Yep, that Suki found in the drawer earlier by her uncle.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see...
That looked like it fucking hurt.
But it was also just so brutal because it was like she puts it in her mouth and then hits it on her knuckles. And it's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, fucking whale.
This guy is nuts.
Oh, yeah.
He's even got the black tongue back then.
I do think they do a good job of like escalating him throughout the film.
Totally.
Because like obviously we're going back. Yeah. So... But it's getting worse even back in time. You're like just seeing more of this guy.
Because you're seeing more of him. Yeah, that's exactly. The thing. Yeah, you're getting a little more intimate scenes with him.
But I like that they like built it instead of just like...
Well, the funny thing is most of the time you see him early on is either sitting there talking to the Count or in his chair on the back of a servant walking around on his fucking chair.
That was so fucking funny.
So you see
I think
her...
this is like where the basement is first mentioned, right? I think it's
too. You want to see was it Someplace Nice or something like that?
I think I do think it's after this, but we can talk about it now because it's similarly a flashback where she does go down to the basement. This is where she talks about like, oh, I don't want to go back down to the basement. Yeah,
and the uncle actually mentioned it before he left when she eloped with the couch.
Yeah,
always remember the basement.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, so we have this scene where she's getting tortured. You get a bunch of the stuff in this flashback. You get the aunt doing the readings with her, and they're laughing about saying penis and vagina, and like they're like, you see a bunch of different versions of this, and then you see the servant taking young Hideko back and being really nasty to her. Yeah. Like saying like, oh, this place is haunted. And,
Well, she said
there's this guy, there's a giant ogre-sized man who
sit on you.
If you scream, he's going to come in and smother you. Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ.
And she wanted a light. And then they were like, no, we got to conserve oil. Yeah. And then Hideko went back at her. She's like, speak Japanese to me, because she didn't understand Korean.
Yeah. And because she would always like say something after in Korean. Yeah. And that's when the aunt walks in and lights the lamp, and you see like the sweetness there. Yeah.
Well, what I thought was cool was she lit it with a candle.
Yep.
She didn't have the lamp.
Yep.
So then you don't have to conserve oil if you're using the candle, but because you want to be English.
So we get a little bit more of that. We see the aunt do a reading.
She had the job before Hideko.
Yeah, and clearly she is nowhere to the level that Hideko is at.
Yeah, I think Hideko really laps her.
Like, you can see that, like, oh, this is my perfect form of what I wanted all along for the uncle.
Now, do you think that part of that was also like taking its toll on the
uncle? Oh yeah.
Okay, so maybe the aunt was
totally.
Yeah.
And then remind me, but I think the next major scene I would talk about is her hanging in the tree.
Hideko?
No.
Or the aunt? I think that's probably right.
So the thing that's interesting about this, right, is we see her hanging in the tree, and Hideko's crying. A bunch of people are gathered around, and then it's young Hideko talking about, I read that if, when someone is hanged, they have they poop themselves and their eyes are bulging out of their head, and she had a clean bottom, and her eyes looked good. And that's when he takes her to the basement, because he says, like, do you want to see what I did to your aunt, as she starts to like ask questions. And he takes her down to the basement, and it cuts away.
So did you, well, I mean, you've seen it obviously, but the first time, did you have an idea what it was?
Oh, you're saying off the bat, or no?
Okay, I think the sounds gave it away.
Well,
for me,
okay, that's fair.
I was like, no,
but so we don't see a lot there.
No, you just see their reaction.
Yeah. And then now, flash forward, right? Flash forward to, we're seeing it from Hideko's perspective,
all grown up.
Yeah, grown up, and now having the setup for where Suki's coming in. So you have the count coming in. Oh, am I missing something?
Does it start there, or does it start with the count? With her in the count.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So not
so before Suki's ever involved, the count comes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Suki coming in already. Okay, sorry.
No, yeah, the count comes, and they have an interaction where he's hoping to get, I think this is actually where that doll scene and that whole reading happens.
I think that's her first interaction with him. Is that? Yeah.
He shows up to one of the readings,
and he tries to. This is where he looks at her, and he tries to meet her gaze, and he looks away before she does.
Yeah,
and that's where he has a discussion with her, like, all right, I can't. I know that I'll never be able to get into your pants.
Yeah. So he has that discussion basically with the uncle too.
Yeah, different version though, because what he was saying to the uncle is like, I could have any woman in here except one.
Yeah.
And then she even says, oh, he's like, oh, even lady, whoever.
His wife.
Yeah, who he shares a bed with or whatever. She's the main servant. Yeah. And he like, you want me to say it?
Yeah.
I'll say it. And he says it's Hideko. And what's interesting is he tells her, hey, I know my plan. Here's my plan. He puts his cards on the table, because
they have this for years.
Yeah, years
to get your fortune.
And I can tell right away that it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, so let's just split.
So he's like, here's a plan. And I love the way this is pitched, because he's such a slime ball, but he is
He's not an idiot.
Yeah, he's smart.
Yeah.
And the thing that's interesting about it is he is like, you want to do these readings with this old pervert?
Yeah.
Like, is that what you want for your life?
Yeah.
Because, like, we could just take your fortune and get out of here. Like, this would be much better for you, too. And she's like, that's a pretty good point.
Yeah. And also, like, what is the future going to be for you at some point anyway, when you marry your uncle?
Exactly. We should also mention she was eavesdropping on them when it was the uncle and the count talking.
And then he spits back what he said.
Yeah,
she spits back what he said at him.
Yeah.
And he's like,
So that's basically the setup, and they formulate this plan of, I'll bring in a servant. I know just the person, we'll do this whole plan. Like, they basically have the reverse plan set up before Suki's ever involved.
And Suki's the patsy.
Yes.
Like, that's the whole thing, to, like, get the escape, because she's also worried about her uncle finding her as well.
Yes.
Which is why the Mercury capsule comes into play. He's like, hey, if it ever does come to that, you drink this, you won't go down there alive, at least.
Exactly. And so now we're seeing a lot of the same scenes from a different perspective of what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's the initial scene where Suki comes in and she bangs the doll on the door and screams and, does all the stuff. Super fun to see.
Yeah.
Again.
Like you see. Yeah, exactly. Like,
because now you have this sense of dread, right? Like, I know she's about to get institutionalized.
Yeah.
And I feel terrible about it. Now I got to watch this evil person, do the
but
plot.
I think very quickly.
Well, that's what's cool about
Yeah.
it. They run through these scenes leading up to, and you start to see the warmth.
Yeah.
So, like, you see the bath scene again with the tooth filing, except there's one cool change where, from Hideko's perspective, I only caught it on this one. She says, like, at the end of it, she says, "You want to get in with me?" Like, offhandedly.
Yeah.
And Suki just, like, takes off her shirt.
Yeah.
And the look on Hideko's face of, like, holy shit, she's actually going to do it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what is wrong with her?
Yeah.
It's so endearing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you realize, like, oh,
That wasn't.
this is what she loves about her.
Yeah.
Is she's just pure emotion, doesn't give a fuck about, like, pretense.
Yeah.
She's like a total opposite of everything she knows.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun to see. That's what in my opinion makes this movie like a great movie, is they allow this to be a deeper thing that, like, reflects the themes that we're seeing in a naturalistic way.
Yeah.
That, like, is actually believable and interesting.
Yeah, you see it in a more, like you said, genuine way.
Yeah.
Like, you buy it versus, like, this is the story of,
Yeah.
like, Aladdin or whatever. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, is this a street rat and a princess type of deal. But it is very similar in that dynamic.
But there's so much more depth and, like, soul to it.
Yeah,
That's the idea.
you see her being her genuine self, because she's not, even though she does pretend,
Yeah.
we'll say, to, like, I'll do this heist, but at the same time she can't help but be herself.
Something I want to shout out that we missed. We'll continue here, but there's a couple of scenes that I really like that we missed. Is where she's trying on clothes and they do the corset thing. So she puts on a bra.
Oh, yeah. They're dressing it on.
And, she tries the bra and she's like, "Oh my god, you wear this? This is so uncomfortable." She's like, "You think that's uncomfortable?" And then it's like a smash cut.
Yeah, and
she has her foot on her back and she's pulling the corset. Yeah. And Suki's scream of, like, "Ah!" Like, it's so funny. She is really fucking funny.
She is. That's where, like, the movie was, like, confusing me. Where I said it's, like, very much like The Favorites, where it's, like, the serious period piece, but then it's hysterical.
And isn't that beautiful?
No, it's great.
That's why this is so good. Like, that's why I love Park.
Like, it would, like, break into, like, almost like Kung Fu Hustle style humor.
Yes, it's very silly.
Yeah.
It's.
But I think that lets you also, like, appreciate the characters.
Totally. I'm a big Blank Check fan. It's a podcast about movies, if anyone's ever interested. But Emily Yoshida, on their episode of this, said it's all of Park Chan Wook's movies have a little bit of Looney Tunes. And it's like, that's such a good way to describe this, because when they're silly, when they're given the opportunity to be silly, it's so funny and ridiculous. And that's why, like, Kim Tae-ri's performance here as Suki is so much fun, because you have her as this, like, doe-eyed, like, in awe, and then you have all the emotions on her sleeve, the good, the bad, everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the comparison of when she's like gazing into her vagina and you just see her eyes wide and she's like in love, and that like look on her face is so silly and ridiculous, but it's so like endearing. I don't know. There's something like it's so warm about her. I absolutely love this performance.
100%.
And then the other one was when she has the blue earrings. And she gives up the game right away.
Oh yeah, like
where she's like, well, no, she says like, she's like, oh, these are beautiful blue sapphires.
And he's like, oh, they're not.
Like, oh, those are spinels. And
like, how do you know that?
It's like anybody would be like, what the fuck?
She even says, oh, a common fence can be confused.
Exactly.
By that. It's
like, what are you doing?
What do you know about common fences?
And that's why I love it, that first half where it's like, all right, is she really naive? What's going on? I just love that mix because he wants to plant those seeds.
No, I think he does a very good job of it.
Yeah, it's just such a fun setup. And that's why when you start to realize where this is going for the second part of this, it's so awesome because now we're starting to see these scenes. I mentioned the bath scene. You have the extended sex scene now where it goes further and you see them doing more. You have the Predator meme with the arms clasped.
Oh yeah.
When they're doing the hardcore scissoring.
Yeah.
And you have
I want to point out an attention to detail in that scene.
Okay.
That is 10 out of 10. Like when Suki is eating out Hideko. She comes up and her face is wet.
I know.
And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
And that's why Park is the man.
It's 100%.
Because it's not only that, it's also the Foley work. It's ridiculous.
Oh, well, yeah, the camera.
But they do so much, like the sounds, they're not afraid to get in there. Like, that's why this is the text of the movie. Yeah. Like, if you want to say, like, this is gratuitous, I just think you're wrong. Like in my opinion, this is the point of it. They are taking this.
Yeah.
They are taking this as this is their agency.
Yeah. I also think to say that it's gratuitous in this situation because this is what the movie is. It's not like it is like a romance novel brought to life. This is what happens in those things.
And the reason this is a better version of that is because it's about their own empowerment and agency. And that's why leaving that shit in instead of having romantic music masking all the normal sounds of sex is the point.
No, I agree.
You get what I mean?
I agree.
Like you don't do that by accident.
No.
You get what I mean?
And also, I think I do think that is just part of this movie. It's like if you don't like that, well, then don't watch it.
And it is, I understand the initial snap judgment of like Diana even said, she's like, am I watching Pornhub right now? What is this?
Well, that's some high quality Pornhub if you're watching that.
But I think the idea of like, I'm not used to sex scenes being like this is a little much, is okay. But what I'm saying is when you realize like what this movie is about, this is crucial.
Yeah.
Like I understand that.
And also like it is like part of this. It is the story. It is part of the characters like connection and everything that like ties them together. Whereas like you want to talk about a gratuitous sex scene, we could talk about Watchmen.
No,
the movie.
Sure.
Like, okay,
a lot of stuff wrong with that movie.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like there's a difference between like this is a very detailed and long sex scene versus like. This is unnecessary. Yeah. Like
it's certainly not unnecessary. I'll tell you that.
And also like to get a little bit on a tangent, like culturally, we've gotten away from that. Like sex scenes in most cases, and like maybe HBO is probably like the exception to this of like what and what not. But even then, like they're not as detailed or pivotal to the plot. But like even in the 90s and stuff like that, like you'd have like barbed wire and stuff like that where you would just get like occasional nudity and some stuff like that, and that was just the way movies were. And then it's like, oh, we got to go get a little more conservative with everything.
We've become a much more chaste group.
Yeah,
but I do that. There is the reason that I enjoy this movie so much is because they understand. Park understands that. The point that I'm making requires me to have this kind of thing.
it was
like to get it across and show you what I'm talking about. You need to understand that this is an important moment, and every little bit in detail is driving that point home. And I think that's the whole point there. I also just love Suki being like, I can't believe you've never done this before. You must be a natural.
Yeah, that was crazy. When she's just like, you just must be the natural. That was just so funny. And like, again, so innocent of that character and naive.
It's her own way. It's so good. So we have the extended sex scene there. We continue on past through getting more and more glimpses. We see Hideko over. She's like in the woods seeing the conversation between Suki and the Count, where he puts his hand on her crotch, or she
vice versa.
And he says to her, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna lose it. You got to be careful. You got to show her that you care about me. Whatever. And the same thing with the scene when they're on their like picnic. Whatever.
Well, she even said, "I want to call it off."
Yeah,
but that didn't happen.
And so this is where you're getting close to the idea of like, is she like, you're seeing that warmth,
bitch, or is there an actual connection here?
And the thing that I love is you end up getting, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in my memory, I believe you end up getting, so you get a lot of these scenes and then you get to that. Oh, go ahead.
So one thing that is attached to the second version of the sex scene is, promise you'll never betray me.
Yeah, you can steal from me.
Well, she said that very often.
Yeah, that's the early one.
Again, she does say, like, that's the other thing where it's like, you kind of dismiss Suki's lackadaisical behavior is because she's like, listen, I don't give a shit about that other stuff. Just don't fucking lie to me.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, don't betray me.
And that's why when you see that scene again of her slapping her and saying like, you'll love with the being with the Count or whatever.
Do you think I should marry the Count?
Yeah.
And she's like, I think you should, or you'll learn to love him. And then she flips the fuck out on her. That was real.
And so here's my question. This is what I want to double check. Those scenes, that happens now, like with the cherry tree and everything. Like that's okay. Yeah. So this is because I couldn't remember if. It does.
Yeah.
So now this is my favorite scene in the movie.
Okay.
Because I fucking love the way that this scene is shot, where she goes out. She has that scene where she slaps Suki, and she's so upset because she's like, why is she still telling me to love the Count? Like, we should be formulating a plan here, whatever.
Again, a genuine, what she thought was genuine connection has turned into ulterior motive.
Yep. And what I love is she goes out there with the rope with the intention of hanging herself. She gets all set up. You see her up in the cherry tree, and she got the rope tied, and you see her let herself down.
Well, I've never seen, and not that I've seen a lot of these, but I've never seen anyone hang themselves like that, where they're like in the tree
up on top of it, and then
having
they just
their
let themselves
arms on the brace, and then
like, all right,
let
ready?
go.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's usually the other way. Like usually you're on something and jump.
Right.
Versus like, I climbed the tree. Like,
it kind of makes sense.
No, it's very practical.
Yeah.
Just never seen it.
And the thing that I love is you see her drop, and then you see like she doesn't quite fall all the way, and then there's this huge zoom out. And you see Suki is there grabbing her legs.
That was great.
This is my favorite scene. This is what I'm talking about. And she's wailing. She's crying. And she's like, oh, please, I'm sorry. I was going to betray you.
So what I was going to say, where you're saying like she has these big, like comically emotional moments, is where I've seen a lot of like live action anime adaptations struggle, is like to capture that without becoming too goofy. Yes. But like she does it perfectly.
So well, so well.
Yeah.
Even to backtrack a little bit, but even during that initial sex scene, where she's like looking at her tits, and she's like just like throws her head into it, like the way that she like moves her head, it's like so comical.
Immediately, just like exactly.
Like she's like diving in. Finally. It's so funny. And. So back to so she's holding her and she's saying like, I'm so sorry, I was gonna betray you. Here was our plan. She goes through it, and she's like, I don't want to do that. I'm so sorry. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And then Hideko looks down at her, and she's like, are you worried about me? And she's like, yes. She's like, I'm worried about you too.
And then
She's
says,
like, what do you mean? And she says, I was going to betray you.
Yeah. Well, she says her real name first because she was using a different name.
And she said, why did you just call me
Wait,
Suki?
Yeah. She's like, how'd you know that?
Yeah. And then she explains that
Everything.
I was going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And the funniest fucking thing is she's like looking at her as she's doing this. And then she lets go and like turns around to be like, that bastard, like about to count.
And she's hanging there.
And Hideko was like
Yeah.
strangling, kicking her feet.
Then she runs back.
And she looks over and is like, oh, no, and goes over and grabs her. And
Yeah.
holds her. It's so
So
good.
Exactly.
That is the perfect, like the most emotionally pivotal scene in the movie.
Mhm.
And it has the funniest
comedy,
moment in
yeah.
the movie too. Like to do that and
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, no.
How do you do that? That is a rare, rare thing.
That was like not on the same level, but in Saving Private Ryan when they put in this case of mistaken identity, where it's like, but I feel like in this one it like the scene maintains the same seriousness, whereas that one undercut it.
Yeah,
but again,
yeah, I just love this scene.
no, it's great.
And it's so beautiful with the cherry like how far they pan out and where they're cutting to and
Again,
stuff.
the camera
so
work
good.
in the entire movie is insane.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So now we see, okay, now it's time to, here's our plan, here's what we're going to do. And then they're running off. We're still going to meet the count.
Yeah.
We're still going to do everything.
They're doing a double agent type of deal.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love is now you're seeing those scenes again.
Mm-hmm.
And you get one of my other favorite scenes where it's time to go over the last wall that's like,
oh yeah,
it's
literally like
eye high.
yeah.
And she's just like stopping there. I think we did right after that almost hanging scene.
Mm-hmm.
I think they go into the library. It's
Yeah,
either
this is one of
before
the
or
best
after.
Oh yeah,
scenes
when they're
in the
about to
movie,
run
too, where
away and she destroys the
Yeah.
library.
So
Because-
much fun.
because she tells her what it is, and then you're just like, this is so silly, and then you start seeing it like pick up because she's like literally like book by book
Yeah.
ripping
out small
pages.
bits of pages.
then like grabbing like a little
Yeah.
like Sakabato and just like
Yeah.
or a Tonto.
I just love this scene because
And then you see Hideko like get in on destroying all those.
but the thing that you see that I freaking love is Hideko. You were worried for 20-30 minutes that she was really conniving and was faking everything. She's not. She is very innocent.
No.
She is sheltered.
Yeah.
She obviously has been doing things and she's smarter than she lets on.
Yeah.
But you see it in her face when Suki is destroying this stuff. She has tears welling in her eyes of like, oh, this person cares about me. They want to protect me, right? And they want to do things to look out for me. And like that is just such a good like encapsulation of what this like romance is.
Yeah.
It's
and
so
even
good.
just like you're so much better than this, and like the fact that he made you read
I can't
this,
believe he made you do this.
I'm going to destroy this because it hurts you.
Yes.
And she's just like, what the fuck?
It's
like
so good.
And like that's something that never even occurred to her. It was like I could get back at
Yeah.
them and
Yeah.
like destroy this
Yeah.
part, and like so no one has to do it.
It's great.
Because the count even says
Yeah.
he could go get other girls.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't end with you.
I know.
Um.
Yeah, he said that in his pitch in the
Yeah,
beginning. He's
yeah.
like, he could go get 10 other girls.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So now, okay, time to flee. We're eloping. And that scene that I love is there's a thigh-high stone wall that it's obviously very overtly symbolic of like she could never cross over this, and she just stops, right?
Yeah.
Like Suki like jumps over the wall, no problem,
Yeah.
and then she looks back and she's like stopped, frozen at the wall. And Suki like doesn't miss a beat, brings over the luggage again, stacks it up, helps her over there. It's like it's so funny but so sweet, and you see like they need each other, you know.
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of what that's about, is like, yeah, of course you could have fucking got over the wall,
Yeah.
but it's like the idea of like what you are to me as my like
Guide, basically, out of here.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And again, more beautiful shots, different shots that are absolutely gorgeous.
That I appreciated so much was just like when we went back to see her side of things.
Yeah.
There was so many different. Like
It was
something,
discreet,
Yeah.
like different angles,
Yes.
different. Yeah, it's really incredible.
Yeah.
Like even Yeah, like almost every scene,
Like,
it's filmed from a
I
different
would have been
angle.
a bit annoyed if it was just like, this is the scene, but now you know this, and it's like,
And that's why
Yeah.
this is different. You know what I mean? Like this
I
movie
know.
is different. So now, yes, they get back in with the count, and then you see that they have this plan of exactly what they're going to be doing, and you see her when she quote unquote consummates the marriage and what actually happens, right? And she's like, pleasuring herself and cuts her hand with the knife to look like it was the blood on the sheets.
yeah.
And the thing that's fun is they get her into the asylum, and the count is like, great, let's go have lunch.
Yeah.
And then Act 3 is the title card where it says Act 3, and you see the count say like, I kind of feel bad, whatever, blah blah blah, and Hideko's like, I think she'll be fine, and you see her bite into the rice ball that has the cockroach in it.
Yeah.
And instead of like getting upset, she just tilts her head back and starts
Laugh.
cracking up.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I love that the whole crux of what the twist was sitting on is laughed off in a 3-minute scene, and she escapes right away. It's so good.
Her and all the people back home, because she Hideko taught her how to write and wrote a letter saying like, hey, meet me here, get me out.
Yes. It's so good.
Yeah.
So now you have a nice little backstory of why he's called the Count, and it is perfect for who he is.
Yep.
Where he's like, I
despise where I came from.
I hated where I came from. The older men that I would hang around with, would always laugh at me and call me the Count because I always tried to be higher status than I am.
Well, I think the story was like he saved up a month's pay to have like one meal in this fancy restaurant type of deal.
Yep, exactly. And the thing that I think, if I believe, I'm gonna make sure I get it right, but I think it's Count Fujiwara.
Yeah, it's Fujiwara.
Which is basically the equivalent of like Rockefeller, like for us.
Is it?
So it's like if you named yourself Mr. Rockefeller.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like how ridiculous the idea of that is. Like that's who he is.
Yeah.
Like he's the most
like
base
Trump
con man.
Like if you're like, I'm the rich guy named Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's the most obvious stupid shit.
Yeah, I get you.
And you hear him say this, and it's like he gives that quote that's something along the lines of like, I don't care about, I want to be the person that doesn't even have to check the price of the wine.
Yeah, like I don't look at the wine when I
right. Like I don't want to like it's almost like there's a difference between being this type of rich and this type of rich, and the one that I want to be is the type that I don't even want to check.
Yeah.
It's not that I know I can afford it. I don't even want to see it.
I don't want to have to concern myself with that.
I want to add avocado to all my Chipotle orders.
There you go.
Not
without worrying about
Without
it.
even having.
That's our version of that.
Exactly.
So we see the scene, and then we get an interesting, some sort of version of, okay, we have Suki escape, and then we have Hideko and the Count back at the apartment, some hotel or something where they're staying. And
he's trying to get her to marry her again, but as Suki, but for real.
Yeah, so he's basically saying you can take over, this identity and whatever, and we'll make it official. And he's also trying to like sweet talk her a little bit.
Yeah.
And she sees the opportunity to. It's a really good scene because it's so uncomfortable, and he's such a shithead.
Yeah. And he thinks he's so smart because he's like, she fell for me. And
exactly.
It's like when the whole game was to not do that.
And you see, this movie is so good at sticking to its like principles of like, the second this guy has the opportunity, he's like, it's more pleasurable to be dominated, right?
Exactly.
And he's like, holding her on the ground, and it's like, you just are proving her right over and over again.
What was funny is so she takes her cyanide capsule, the mercury, and puts it in a glass of wine, and then comes to him and he's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
but it's only enough to make him pass out.
Yeah. So 3 drops.
Well, and that's what you learn with because he gives her the doses, right?
Yeah.
3 will
drops,
knock you out. 5 will knock out a horse, or
right?
Whatever.
And then the whole thing,
do that,
and you're dead.
Yeah. But like again, immediately his whole like thing is dropped when she's like, "Oh, I'm a little girl with wine. Here you go."
Well, it's so funny too because she's realizing like, all right, how the fuck am I going to do this? He's not worried about the wine. He's worried about me.
Yeah, and so then she's drinking it and just spitting it into his mouth.
And he's like, "Whoa, this is pretty cool."
He's like, okay, and then, like at first he's like not into it, but he's like, "All right," and then you're like, "All right." And she's like, "I'm on a mission," because at first she was like, "Oh, you're like doing stuff," and then she's like, "I don't like this at all."
And I just love they hold on her face the whole
and
time.
She's just like eye roll,
and the look of like as she's like moaning and pretending to be into it.
Yeah.
And you just see it on her face that she's not at all.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like is when she comes in at first with the glass of wine and she says something like, you know, "Hey, I think maybe we give it a try or something." And he's like, "Those aren't the eyes of somebody that wants it."
Yeah.
You know, like I told you can't fool me with that, because he does know what he's doing with
Yeah.
that. But once she starts,
He's like, well,
he can't help himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I love about it.
So one of the things I thought was going to happen, because like she's now watching the clock.
Yeah.
I was like, what if that's nothing?
Yeah,
Like he just lied to get her. I was like, this could backfire. It didn't. So he eventually passes out. Like literally
as
on
he's
top
about
of her.
to. Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
crucial tense moment.
That's right. So he passes out. She runs off, meets up with Suki.
Mm-hmm.
And
Assumes her fake identity.
Yeah.
You see a passport being
what
made.
a cool scene.
Yeah.
Love that. The hammering of the coin to get the...
Which is funny because obviously she learned that from them.
Oh, yeah.
And of how to do that. And I think she even says that in the scene. And she, you can see like there's a disguise being made and everything like that as she's right. You're basically reading a letter that in her voice is reading a letter to her uncle that she left with the Count.
Yeah.
For when his guys found him bottomless in the hotel.
Yeah. Which is so funny.
It's great.
It's such a good scene where the two, and I love that these guys are basically fake samurai.
Yeah. 100%.
Because the Count, or not the Count, the uncle.
The uncle is like
such a poser.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I just would love to have a couple samurais.
Yeah.
So they grab him, and he's like, "You mind grabbing my pants over there?" And they're just looking at him.
Yeah.
And then smash cut to the car where he takes out, and this was so good because he takes out obviously 2 cigarettes look
like
blue.
3. Yeah.
2 look blue, and then 3 look normal.
Oh, okay.
And you don't really think at the time much of it, but you see him just stuff 3 cigarettes in his mouth and light them all up, and the guys are kind of like, "What the fuck?" But part of you was like, well, if he thinks he's about to die, he's just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, well, I
do whatever I want.
I thought because he's blowing it out the window that it was like a smoke signal. I was like, that'd be crazy. But it was not.
No. He obviously just wanted to make sure he
that
had
he had the right ones,
cigarettes left.
He knew he was going to the basement.
So we get some variation of, I believe first we see them at the... Oh, no, I guess he gets to the basement first and they start talking. Because
I think he immediately loses a finger.
Yeah, right off the bat, finger cut off.
Yeah, there's a whole little...
You see the octopus in the tank behind him.
Do you see it right off
the
bat?
It's a big-ass octopus.
Yeah.
It's huge.
In a so when Suki is destroying the library,
you see
the thing that Hideko pulls out first is a woman like basically being tentacleized.
Yeah. It's the good old hentai classic.
Yeah, exactly. By an octopus.
The original.
And you're like, oh, that's what she showed it. But so in that scene when she's a kid, you can hear like, and I was like, fucking octopus.
So you see him down there. He's getting tortured by the uncle, cutting off fingers
in what looks like those elementary school paper
cutters.
cutters.
It's a paper slicer,
but with finger holes.
It's so absurd.
Very specifically meant for torture.
And he's talking about like how, they'll never get anywhere. We're gonna catch them.
Well, also like I'm taking a finger for like every X amount of value of the books I've lost because of you. Like he was going in.
Yeah, he was. But he specifically says, I'm making sure that nobody's allowed out of the country. Two women traveling together. So you see like guards. It's like cutting over to them in like the
train station or whatever.
Yeah, the station for the ferry.
Oh, it was a ferry.
And,
right. They get on a boat.
And you see them like looking at all the women and whatever. And of course you see Hideko in the disguise.
Little mustache.
Yeah, little mustache and hat.
Yeah.
So silly, but perfect.
I mean, it works.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. But then they hop on the boat. She rips off the mustache.
They
They
put
take the wedding
in the
ring
finger,
and
yeah.
hang it all up and throw it overboard. And then you cut back to the uncle torturing the count.
And the uncle is fully unhinged at this point.
And-
He is peak crazy.
And this is where you get to who he actually is.
Yes.
And it kind of solidifies everything. So he's basically begging the count to tell him about his sexual interactions with Hideko,
Yeah.
which of course is his niece.
Yeah.
Which fantastic,
Yeah.
Great job, guy.
I mean, he was going to marry
Park
her,
Cho
right? So.
Well, yeah.
having a pattern here.
Yeah, Park Chan Wook knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he's like begging for it. He's like, I just really need a cigarette.
Yeah.
And so he's lighting up a cigarette. He's like, oh, do you have any windows down here? You
Yeah.
know, as he's smoking, there's like this bluish haze forming. And he slowly starts like talking about things
Yeah.
and talking about this. And then he's like leaving him on the edge of the seat. And the uncle is getting more and more depraved with his questions,
Yeah, yeah.
where he's like, he gets down to like, how many wrinkles did you
Oh,
feel?
yeah,
Like he
yeah,
was
it
like
was
so
insane.
ridiculous. And yeah, full pervert mode.
Like shaking like a fucking
Yeah.
chihuahua.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's insane.
And so you find out obviously that as he's about to, the last piece of torture after cutting off his fingers was he's going to cut off his dick.
Yeah.
And
Like literally cuts off his underpants. Like
yeah,
You see him pull it away.
You see him pull them apart, and then he basically says like, oh yeah, you know, mercury is most toxic in gas form or whatever. And you have the blue haze, and you have Uncle pass out.
Yeah.
And the count says, at least I get to die with my cock intact.
Yeah.
Which again, the thing that's so good is you have two villains against each other here,
Yeah.
and the one that, you know, it does better
Yeah.
is still a pathetic loser.
Yeah. They
Who's
both
like
die, like-
happy that he's dying with his cock
Yeah.
intact. It's like your useless little cock that you didn't even get to
Exactly.
use. You know, it's like just so good. So then of course we cut to our little finale. We get Hideko and Suki happily in an apartment, breaking out those silver balls,
Oh yeah, yeah.
going into the jade gates.
Yes.
And we have one final scene that obviously is thematically nice,
Yes.
nice little topper. And that's a movie.
Yeah.
Do you think we missed anything? We did a pretty good job of hitting pretty much most scenes.
No,
but
yeah, I don't think this is a movie where it's like break down scene by scene because
yeah, I mean, there's
It
stuff
is.
to talk about, but I think we hit it along the way.
yeah, no, I think we've hit everything because like again I think the pacing's very well done in this movie, but again, like I can't sit there and be like, and then she does this and then
Yeah.
like it's just
Yeah,
it doesn't lend itself to this format.
no, and I think we
No,
did a good
I think
job
we did a
going
good
through
job.
it. But I think the thing,
Let us know.
yeah. So question, obviously I want to hear what you guys think, and we're all going to rate it.
Well, it was Ozzy's movie.
Yeah, I guess Ozzy should go first.
that's how we've been doing it.
What are you giving The Handmaiden?
Well, do you want to? All right. Well,
what?
I don't know. I don't know.
What?
Usually we don't start with a number.
We don't? What do we usually start with?
Like.
Can't
your
give it a number?
thoughts,
Did you
then-
enjoy it? What are your thoughts?
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
no, I thought it was awesome. I mean, I love the twisty, turny movies. That's the shit that I love, and this one really got me, and the second one even got me even worse.
Yeah.
That second one's so good.
So good.
I would give it 4.5,
4.5?
I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pretty good rating.
4.5.
Pretty good rating.
Would I recommend it?
Only certain people.
Only certain people. I'm not telling my parents to watch this.
Yeah, I
that
don't
would be
think- yeah.
See, if my dad was alive, I could tell him to watch this, and he would be absolutely on board. My mom, no.
Dave, what are you gonna say about this movie?
I think it was great. Obviously, I knew nothing going in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what I was expecting. Like, I was like, all right, maybe a period piece type thing.
Yeah.
I guess. very pleasantly surprised. I think it's way better than Old Boy, and I enjoyed Old Boy. Cinematography's on the next level.
Yeah.
Everything being practically done I'm always a sucker for that.
Mm-hmm.
Performances, like again, those 4 that we mentioned, out of the fucking park.
So good.
And I was teetering on like this too, but I'm gonna give it a 5.
Hey,
Because I was originally thinking maybe a 4, maybe 4.5, but there isn't anything I can like gripe. I have no grievance with the movie. The only thing I would say is, again, like, I don't think this can be recommended to everybody, but I do think everyone can enjoy this. I think who you watch it with is more important than who you recommend it to.
Sure.
And maybe tell them to like buckle up, like let them know, like, hey, it's gonna be intense.
The thing that I found about this movie, this is my 3rd watch. It's one of my more recent additions to my top 25.
Okay.
I think the more you watch it and the more you think critically about it, and you like kind of like talking through this, I like it more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a rich
And that was the thing.
film.
Like, again, like, love the twists, love, like, haha, we got you again.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can like, just because of like when you know how long the movie is, you're like, this isn't the end. Like, you're like, something's coming here, and then you get that other end, you're like, okay, and then you're like,
yeah.
But also all the seeds are there.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about the rope and everything.
It makes it just so much fun on the rewatch.
There.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like, everything.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this again.
Yeah, it's so. The thing about it for me is just there are bits and pieces throughout there that, like, you can break down a lot of like Park is always going to be blunt with a lot of his metaphors, but there's a lot of stuff in here. Like knowing how interesting the setting is. What an interesting time in Korea.
Yeah.
What an interesting setup for this guy who sold out for a gold mine. You know, like every piece of this, it's so textured and layered that it just keeps on giving. Like there's nothing like shallow about this movie.
And again, I'm a big fan of, not a big fan at the time, but like, I'm aware of the history and everything like that. And I've explained to people, I was like, no, like, Japan invaded Korea. Like, what do you mean? Like, Japan's so peaceful. It's like, now. And then it's funny because, like, even I'm going to tangent a little bit. Like, I've started watching Solo Leveling. And everyone always says, like, oh, it doesn't have any story or anything like that. And that's absolutely not true. Like, you're missing it. Like, there's so much drama in the show. And again, it's a Korean manhwa adapted to an anime. And and again, Park Chan Wook, Korean filmmaker, it's very similar, and like, all this stuff is going on that is aside from the like main pillar of plot. But like, all these details build that up, and is also like very interesting.
But in that sort of storytelling, it makes everything better, and it makes the entire experience feel more full and rich and textured, and that's why, like, each part of this movie has so much for you. Yeah. And that's why, like, to me, you have a very unique story, incredible performances throughout. Direction top notch, cinematography top notch. Like there's just so much to love about it. Like, this is an easy 5-star for me, and like I said, it is one of my favorite movies. Like, I absolutely love this movie.
And I think that's something like that's important about watching foreign films as well, because you see like what different culture can bring to filmmaking.
Absolutely,
this is our first foreign film.
It
on
is
the list.
On one of my 5 faves is a Japanese film.
There's one on mine.
I think you guys will be enjoying.
I think you'll also enjoy mine.
Good. Can't wait.
You know,
Paddington.
Yes,
no,
Paddington.
not Paddington.
That's the one.
Paddington.
Paddington is a foreign film.
Technically. Technically.
So 5 stars, 5 stars. Ozzy with the 4.5.
I mean, that's still good. I'm not gonna.
It's very good.
The only reason I would say like you can really get away with a 4.5 is like, okay, I'm not watching this all the time.
This isn't
and again, back to the sex scenes, which obviously are very well done, apply to the story and everything. They're also really good.
Yeah,
like I'm
very well
I'm not
choreographed.
gonna pretend like, oh, tisk, no. Like, hey, I like a little nudity.
But I think genuinely the choreography is
Oh, no, it's insane.
is very good. Like if you know, like if you
if you know sex.
If you've ever shot a sex scene, you know what goes into it.
Dave, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, okay. So real quick, I'll give you some inside baseball.
If you know hard scissoring.
Here we go.
Not to ruin movie making and sex scenes for everybody. When you film a sex scene, it is not sexy. Yes, you may be with someone very attractive and all that good stuff. It is precise. You are performing. You are not
it's a dance.
having sex.
It's a dance number.
Exactly. And to sell that, listen, we've all seen bad sex scenes.
Uh-huh.
Some people, it's hard. And again, they do a great job.
I would have to agree with you on that. Best performance. Oz, who are you giving it to, man? Some really good performances in this movie.
There are some really good ones. I think it's got to be Lady Hideko.
Yeah, Kim Min-hee.
Kim Min-hee.
She's really good.
She's
again, those
really good. Super. I mean, her character's super layered. Obviously,
Yeah.
She goes from being the victim basically, and taking it all back from her abusers. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Her character arc.
Yep.
So I think she's the most compelling character. I mean, but everybody's.
I think she's the most complete. I think she has the biggest arcs.
And I just love that contrast between her and Kim Tae-ri of like you have this pure emotion and then you have this like
reserved,
right, a living oil painting.
Exactly.
Just kind of like having to consider every move.
Yep.
And she plays it so good.
I think she's
so
phenomenal.
good. It's a great pick.
I will say the uncle.
Uncle's awesome.
Amazing character work, though.
So good.
Especially at the end. When
those eyebrows, man.
Yo, insane. Like, those top four, obviously. Yeah. I think it's Kim Min-hee, then I think it's...
Kim Tae-ri.
Yeah.
And Ha Jung-woo as the Count is incredible, too.
Yeah.
But for me, it's Kim Tae-ri. Just because I just think it's so outrageous how genuine she feels.
No,
she there's so many people that play this type of like emotion on your sleeve character that don't come across as genuine.
No, I do think
that's not easy to nail.
She is a very special actress. Yeah. And it comes through in this for sure.
Yep.
But I do think Kim
Min-hee
is the performance.
It's an insane performance.
But I think I mean, I don't know what her career was after this, but
Kim Tae-ri has had a great career. She's actually on a super popular Netflix Korean show.
Okay.
And she's doing very well for herself.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all.
She's awesome.
Yeah, no.
And I just love her like physicality too.
Oh no, she's great.
Like she's so much fun in that.
The fact that this is her first thing is
nuts.
Insane. That you want to talk about a natural?
Yeah,
there you go.
She's a natural. Favorite scene, Oz. What's your favorite scene in the movie?
This was hard, and I don't know if this is kind of cheating, but I think the entire sequence from when the Count approaches Hideko and sells the plan, and then you get all the recontextualization of every scene that and I don't know how long the sequence is. I can't remember now.
Well, that whole sequence.
But I think that's fun.
Yeah,
and it's being able to see all the different angles.
Yeah, you're taking 45 minutes as yours.
But I'm not doing the whole.
No, I agree though when you're saying like when you see the repositioning of the plan, like if that's what you're saying as the scene. Yes, I got that 100%.
I think that's a great pick.
Yeah.
What do you got, Dave?
I'm gonna say the second visit to their sex scene. I think it
is very good. It's very well done.
I'm gonna say it's very well done.
Yeah.
The flip of like what happened and like the more and like, oh no, this was a real moment.
Yeah.
And then the attention to detail, and that's insane.
Yeah.
And also like I'm gonna push back a bit on the scissoring thing because I'm well aware.
I'm gonna call you Uncle Davey.
Female sex expert here, Dave Eggers.
Yeah. No, of the
I've seen a lot of lesbian porn in my day.
Okay.
Of grinding legs type of situation.
Okay.
So
All right.
It happens.
Well, glad we got you on the
I'll
pod
leave,
for that.
and I'll leave it at that.
All right. Grind up some legs.
Congrats on the sex, dude.
I'm going with, I mentioned it before, the cherry tree hanging scene. I can't get over it. It is a miracle to marry the amount of tones that he marries in that scene.
Oh, yeah.
And create, that is the emotional heart of the movie.
I agree.
Like, that is the turning point. And
yeah, that is the double spin on that.
So much emotion in it. It's such a powerful moment, and it's so freaking funny. Yeah. And I just can't get over that being as successful as it is.
It's amazing.
It's so awesome.
I mean, I think even like ending the movie on the balls.
Oh, it's so good.
Is a good scene.
It's
like
good.
It's thematic.
I mean, the thing about it, again, Park has a habit of not being too subtle, and there's plenty of times where he's beating you over the head with it, and he does it in a really fun way with that. Number one, we're talking about literal, like, the most obvious, these are balls, right? These are like a masculine symbol, right? That have now been taken and used, again, like we said, it's like the people that had you oppressed, now you're using it and empowering yourself with it, right? And I think it's just so much fun. Like, this movie is fun because that's at the heart of it.
Yes.
And I think that, to me, is what makes it a step above your typical, romantic drama affair, you know?
It's a female empowerment film.
It is.
It is.
And it's really good at it.
No, I think it is.
And I think that's pretty cool to have from a... Park Chan Wook was, 53-year-old man at the time.
Oh, really?
Making this...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, making this female empowerment lesbian film.
Yeah.
I just think it's a special movie.
It is.
Any last thoughts before we go on to pick the next movie, guys?
Do we put it...
The first watch is a...
Oh, do we put them now?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So where are we rating this? Oz, I guess you could go first. I have all of our lists.
Let me pull it up here.
Yeah,
Is that in there?
Whatever you wanted. I think I added you guys to the spreadsheet, but Ozzy, you currently have Jackie Brown 1, Saving Private Ryan 2, Annie Hall 3, Shaun of the Dead 4, Shape of Water 5.
So I think I put this 2. I think I'll put it right under Jackie Brown.
Okay.
And everything will scooch down a spot.
I love that. So we're adding The Handmaiden for number 2. For Oz. Dave, where are you going to put it?
It's the same except Saving
You
Private Ryan
have
at
Jackie
the bottom.
Brown 1, Annie Hall 2, Shaun of the Dead 3, Shape of Water 4, Saving Private Ryan 5.
I think I'm going to put it 2.
Okay. Jumping over Annie Hall.
Well, yeah, because I had Annie Hall at a 4.5, I believe.
Sure. You tell me.
No, yeah.
Me, it's number 1.
Makes sense.
Number 1, easy. It's one of my favorite movies. So I think that ain't too tough for me.
I do think it was funny because I did think about this at the same time. Was like, oh, I like how we're getting the other sides as well, like we did in Jackie Brown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
I was just like, oh,
that's true.
You do get those recontextualizations.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is fun. And also,
yeah,
this is the second romance movie, but this time I bought it. You bought the romance in this one. You didn't
100%.
buy it with the fish.
This is it's not just the second. I would say Annie Hall is a romantic movie.
I wouldn't.
It's a romance. It's about a romance.
Yes, I would say it's about a romance. I wouldn't say it's a romance film.
Sure.
Because, again, you realize that it's not there.
Right. But yes, I agree. Comparing a romance like this compared to The Shape of Water, I mean, I think that's just...
I think that is, yeah.
Night and day. All right, so we're on to picking our movie for the next episode. I'll go through the list that we have right now. So that was Ozzy's second movie. So we're on to my third here. What I have, so we've watched Shaun of the Dead and The Shape of Water for my list.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only one that we cannot pick this episode is Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's on hiatus.
That's fine.
So now we have A Few Good Men, Strange Days, The Fugitive, The Firm, A History of Violence, The Fly, Gattaca, Source Code, The Abyss, Dog Day Afternoon, The Iron Giant, and Princess Bride. So each of you guys need to pick a movie to champion and make your pitch.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? I know what I already have mine picked.
I think I can go first
All right.
and I'm going to just renominate A Few Good Men.
Oh, lame.
It's a good. It's
fine.
one that I've really wanted to
Why,
watch.
why is that lame?
No,
It's not. It's not.
I'm just saying because we're going back, but it's okay. So,
Listen, Dan, you love the legal dramas,
I really do.
and I think it was written. The entire story was written by Aaron Sorkin, so
It's
you're
true.
going to get
for you,
the sharp dialogue, and you really want to, go on living without seeing Jack Nicholson's one of his most legendary
Famous,
performances. I don't
iconic.
think so.
yeah, you'll never see it except for in 3 weeks.
I can't live with myself. We got to do it.
So,
I really have been wanting to watch.
is
it,
that
though.
your pitch?
It's a good pitch.
Yeah.
Even though you said I was going to go first. Okay. Imagine.
It's Princess Bride, isn't it?
No. A distant future that's actually now the past,
Okay.
It's Star Wars.
Y2K.
basically. Crime exists as it always does.
Okay.
Minority Report.
But there
That's
are you can watch back memories
Mm.
if you are recording them.
Bit of a brain dance.
Yeah.
Black Mirror.
So, in this sci-fi future past, because of the time of the movie actually takes place, the cops cannot be trusted.
Well,
We're going to rely on the junkie who's addicted to watching the films of his ex-wife. We have Ralph Fiennes, Angela Bassett.
okay. Great cast.
There's somebody else I'm forgetting. And a bunch of faces you will recognize.
Okay.
Directed by Kirk Cameron,
Catherine Bigelow. Oh no, Kirk Cameron?
I think. No,
No,
that's not
it's
right.
Catherine Bigelow.
No,
No.
it is Catherine Bigelow.
No, I fucked up.
It's Catherine Bigelow.
It's written
No.
by James Cameron.
James Cameron.
Yeah, James Cameron is Catherine Bigelow's wife at the time, or
Okay.
husband at the time.
It is Strange Days.
Yeah. It's one that I've been dying to see.
It is very good. I will tell you, the night I was recommended this movie, I ended up watching it and loved it.
I mean, it's been on my
Does
list
sound
for a
really
long
good.
time. Both of these are probably the top two on my list. I mean, they're literally the top two on my list because of the first two I thought of and added.
Ozzy, you have also not seen Strange Days, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You have not seen A Few Good Men.
I have not.
Just clarifying that.
No, you're right.
That's tough. These are the two, man. I feel like I passed on A Few Good Men once. I'm not going to do it again.
All right.
We're watching A Few Good Men.
Fair enough.
So that'll be the next episode is A Few Good Men. We're going to put Strange Days on a bit of a hiatus. But we will return to you, my friend. And I think, unless anyone has any last minute thoughts here, that's going to do it for this episode.
I believe so.
Tom, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys.
Dave, thank you for being here.
Anytime.
I look forward to handling the truth on the next episode, and hope you guys enjoyed this one out there. Until next time, peace.